The Spec Editor is a tool we use to add or modify items within our spec sheets. To begin exploring its features, we'll start by opening a spec file. Navigate to File, Open Spec, then go to the desktop, open the Exercise Files folder, and select Spec Sheets. For this example, we'll open the Seeks 300 spec sheet. Once open, we can see the main interface. If the catalog panel is visible and you'd like more room to work, you can collapse it to expand the spec viewer window. What you're seeing now is a standard spec sheet. On the top left, we have the option to change the active spec. Simply highlight the one you want. Let's say ASME Python spec, and open it. The new spec will then populate the spec window. The editor retains a memory of recently opened specs, making it easy to toggle between them. The spec contains general information about components, which are organized by type and filtered by minimum to maximum sizes. Each part set has a basic long description that typically omits size references. Additional metadata includes part priority and branch data. Icons like a triangle indicate that part priority can be set, while a filled circle shows it has already been assigned. If a branch table is needed for connections like OLEDs, pipe stubbins, or Ts, a check mark will appear. Though not mandatory, using branch tables is recommended to control connection types and ensure consistency in design. In Spec Editor 2026, the part information and properties is pinned on the right, divided by two tabs, Part Family Properties and Part Size Properties. When viewing parts by size, detailed information such as diameter, face-to-face dimensions, weight, and other specs is displayed. This data is pulled directly from the catalog. Each entry reflects values specific to that part size. For example, a 4-inch pipe will show dimensions and properties relevant only to that size. On the Family tab, there are general information such as manufacturer, material, design, pressure factor, cut length, etc. Click on the Property Editor. We can enhance this data by adding information directly into the spec. It's important to note that any edits made here affect only the spec, not the underlying catalog. Another new feature is Manage Size. Here you can view which size to appear in the spec, from 1/8 inch to 48 inches. Properties and notes can also be added to spec items. Notes serve as administrative comments and are printed with the spec sheet for reference. Another useful feature is the Layout and Settings option. You can navigate to Specs, Layout and Settings. A window will appear. This lets you change how data is displayed. For example, instead of listing items by part name, you can switch to a part category view. This groups components like bolt sets under a broader fasteners category or joints under fittings category. While it can make finding specific parts harder, it's a helpful option depending on your workflow. You can also adjust the long description to reflect part size styles, though inserting specific sizes, like calling and pipe 8-inch, can be misleading when the part range is from 1/8 to 48 inches. Often, setting it back to no style is more practical. To add or remove components, use the buttons at the bottom of the window. Reopening the catalog panel, you can select and remove an item. For example, I'll remove a ball valve by highlighting it and choosing Remove from Spec. Similarly, to add a new item such as a check valve, highlight it and click Add to Spec. The added item will now appear under the appropriate category in the spec sheet.